Hello, my dear Capricorns. Welcome to your September 2016 Runescope with me. My name is Amanda. This month, once again, I'm going to be using, in conjunction with the runes, the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. And then over on my Vimeo page, I will be pulling one card from the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud for your spiritual guidance. So be sure to meet me over there. But let's jump into September, Capricorn. We'll get the runes out here first. It's September 2016. Oh my gosh. What do we got? Okay. I'm so glad that didn't fall. I had one almost fall behind the table here. As always, these are general readings. So, not all of these messages will apply to you. Some will be for other Capricorns who are watching, who need those messages to help them. But if you would like something more specific, you can check out the video for your rising sign. That could give you some additional information, some messages. Some months that will be more accurate. Sometimes it may be very similar to your sun sign reading. Those I always pay extra attention to if both my sun and rising sign are very similar. But you can also, if you want something far more specific, you want some answers to your specific situation, you'll need to schedule a private consultation with me. I do those on Skype. They are $65 for 30 minutes. Just drop me a line at runescopesforyou@gmail.com. It's here in the video and below the video if you want to set that up. I'm not sure if what was going on astrologically. I know we've had a lot of retrograde planets, but over the last few months, I've had several people who just email me asking for my schedule over and over again, but then never book an appointment. So I'm just putting it out there. After a certain point, I stop responding to those messages because we obviously can't work it out. And, you know, I'm just a one-person operation here, so I have to, you know, I get quite a few messages every day, so I do have to use my time and energy in the most efficient way, and that being with people who are serious about booking appointments. Please understand, I understand a lot of people out there have crazy schedules. Things will come up, you know, you may need to reschedule. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about here. You know, it's just a small group of people, definitely the minority, but I just wanted to put it out there. But let's see here, Capricorn, what we've got going on for September. I almost said December. I was thinking of your birthday. I don't know. I'm gonna throw that out there because that may be significant. Maybe it's gonna come up here. But your challenge with the Three of Swords reversed, challenge or focus. That's what we're talking about here. So, this is actually a good card in the reverse. Just kind of taking in the runes here. Let's see where they want to go first. So there's a liberation from a betrayal. There is a new solution, new enlightenment, new information coming through regarding a situation that has been troublesome. Communication that was troublesome, because the swords are usually talking about communication. But yeah, in the upright, this is a card of betrayal, a triangle dynamic, someone, you know, lying to you, deceiving you, treating you harshly, could involve three people in any given situation. It doesn't have to be like a love triangle. But the number three. Threes are usually significant when they come up. Particularly the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups can sometimes symbolize three people to me, a trio, if you will. But so yeah, this could have been a situation that was or is stuck at the start of September. And what's coming up around this is, it's a process, it's a lesson. And it may not be totally resolved in September, but by the end of September, things are going to be moving forward with this. Now the Five of Swords is here as well. So this is another card of conflict. It's the card of winning at any cost. So that could have been someone's attitude. And for many of you, this could have something to do with a family situation. It could have something to do with real estate, property, moving. You know, maybe someone deceived you about something, about the price of a property, about, you know, the property itself. Maybe you're finding out that, you know, you moved into a property and now you're finding out that there's all these things wrong with it that needed to be fixed, and they hid that from you. Either way, September is the beginning of a resolution for this, but it will take you going and swinging. With the Five of Swords, it's, you know, there's gonna be some conflict, some arguments, some back and forth over this before you settle it, but it's very much, Five of Swords is saying, and in this position, it's in the position of the present in September. So probably early on in September. Also, the advice is to you know, go in fighting and take back what is yours. Fight for right, fight for might, whatever your battle cry may be. There is a battle in September. But again, it may not be that serious, okay? I mean, it's not, you know, we're not all obviously going to war, but there may be something, you are fighting for your rights in some way, because you know, someone's tried to take advantage of you or treated you harshly, or tried to tell you what to do, because Five of Swords, because it has that kind of, because it is a battle. It's not like the Five of Rods, which is like a fake battle or just kind of petty infighting. This is like an all-out war, you know. But so someone may have come at you that way, Capricorn, in the past. And but I do feel like for the most part, a lot of this is stuff coming up from the past. That's been done. This betrayal has already happened. And now it's like we're thrashing out the particulars. And in order to bring an end to this, or to bring a conclusion to this, Capricorn, you're going to need to stand your ground, and you're going to need to stand up and speak your side of things and not worry about hurting feelings. The Swords are no longer concerned about feelings, because especially when this has been done to you in the upright, it's now in the reverse because it's over, it's in the past, and you're seeking liberation from that. You're seeking restitution or rectification from that, but you're no longer concerned about hurting feelings. You're not going to walk on eggshells around someone or around a situation anymore, and you shouldn't when this is coming up in your advice. And that's the key to you know, the resolution or the outcome to these readings, whenever I do them, is all dependent on whether or not you take the advice offered by the runes. That's you know, if you don't, then, you know, who knows how it'll turn out. But so yeah, this is saying if you stand up, you take, you know, you let someone know where you stand, and that you're, you know, these are your standards. You're not going to accept this kind of behavior. You're not going to accept this kind of, you know, whatever settlement they're offering. If this is something to do, again, with property or an inheritance. Again, it's for some of you, it has something to do with moving or a car. We've got the Chariot and Ewas on the table, which can both symbolize to me vehicles or travel. So yeah, somebody may have, you know, sold you a car or be trying to sell you a car in September, and then you get it and it breaks down immediately, or, you know, something happens and they're not wanting to fix it, or they're not wanting to take it back. And so the message with Five of Swords is, if you go in fighting and you're willing to do whatever it takes to win this war, you will win. You will win. But you do have to go in with that mindset, Capricorn. But your help, the help that's going to be available to you, we've got the Three of Coins in reverse. So anyone who is not willing to work with you, collaborate with you, for some of you, this could be a work situation as well. Anyone who's not willing, though, to work with you, to work something out so that you know, to solve a problem so that you can move forward, if they're not pulling their weight, they may get the boot if this is a work situation. But I mean, it doesn't have to be. If this is like a family situation, or again, this, you know, real estate situation, if they don't want to, you know, work something out with you, if they don't want to do things in an adult way or interact with you in a mature manner, you'll be like, fine, get, you know, there's the door. See ya. Again, fine. Don't let the door hit you, you know? Or fine, we'll go to court if you don't want to settle this, if you don't want to pay for this faulty, you know, these repairs that need done on this house, or if you don't want to, you know, take this car back or pay for the damages, we can go to court. I think, you know, for many of you, some of you may, I feel like though for many of you, it's just going to be the threat of that. If it is something that you have legal recourse, it's just going to take like one letter from a lawyer and they'll settle, or just even you saying, okay, I'll see you in court. You know, we can work this out now, or we can go to court and let someone outside decide. It's probably not going to end in your favor. And I think, you know, for many of you, you know, that's going to be enough to get this person to, well, okay, you know, admit that they tried to swindle you, essentially, or they tried to take advantage of you or get one over on you. But yeah, anyone who is trying to get out of doing something they're supposed to do, if they haven't been living up to their principles is the word I'm getting. If they haven't been living up to the principles that they have been taught, that they know, whatever they know is right. If they haven't been living up to an agreement, if they haven't been, you know, if they've been shirking duties, not gonna go well for them, but it is gonna go well for you, because that person is, it's kind of like a ship out situation for you. You're at the end of your rope with this situation. And I feel like you are very determined to put an end to whatever this is, you know, whether it's, you know, issues with a home, you know, a possession that was sold to you, a big ticket item that's faulty. No matter what it is, you're determined to put an end to it in September, and you will not, you'll not put up with anybody trying to hide their motives. You're not going to fall for it. Because I feel like for some of you, you may be dealing with someone who can kind of put on this face where they're trying to act like they have your best interests at heart, or act like they want to be your friend, or act like they're trying to help you, when in reality, you know that not only are they not wanting to help you, that they can't work with anyone. They can't collaborate with anyone. They can't be in relationship with anyone, no matter if it's one-on-one or a group collaboration or a family situation. They're just not. It's always about me with whoever this person is for some of you. Now, some of you are leaving this situation if it's a work situation. So if it's not the person that, you know, was kind of shirking their duties, getting the axe, you may be leaving because you have a new opportunity. And this is something that you've been working very hard for. You've been waiting for a long time. And I feel like for most of you, because we have Pedro here, which is the rune of the hidden or mystery secrets, you may not know about it if you're especially if you're watching this on the August side. You may not know about it until, you know, it may remain hidden from you until the end of September. We do have Mercury retrograde in September for the first 3 weeks. So not the best time to start a new job, not the best time to be interviewing. But of course, if you're out of work, you got to do what you got to do. Definitely take a job offer if you get it. If you've been unemployed for several months and you get a job offer, you know, I don't think I have to tell Capricorn that. But yeah, if you can wait until the end of September to accept a job opportunity, that's going to be best. But for many of you, I feel like you may not even find it until the end of September. But if you are looking, again, if you're taking the advice of the runes, which is to be looking for a new position, if you're fed up with yours, or you're tired of doing everybody else's work, you're tired of taking the blame for stuff other people muck up, you know, if you put in the effort, you will get the reward. But yeah, the results of the reading is all dependent on whether or not you take the advice. If you don't, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. yeah, so if you put in the effort, you will be rewarded. If you're sick of a situation and you're taking steps to get out of it, you're not just, you know, staying there and not making, you know, taking any steps forward, you will be rewarded. What must be accepted? We've got the Emperor. So this is normally the position where it's external forces, other people, because we often can't control that. The Emperor is normally a mature man. He's higher than all the kings in the tarot. So this could be a father or father figure. This could be your boss. He represents authority. He represents whoever, you know, kind of has sway or power in your life. He's also associated with the sign of Aries. For some of you, this is, you know, your husband. This is someone you're interested in romantically, Capricorn. And it could be somebody at work or somebody who is kind of above you at work, you know. But I mean, I feel like, you know, you've been very patient with this situation. There's been some waiting. This is like a waiting game involved with this fire sign person. And, you know, it doesn't have to be a romantic situation when we're talking about Gifu. It's any close relationship, any close partnership. For some of you, maybe this is a business partner or someone you're considering going into business with or starting a business with. And you're just kind of holding off, you're waiting. Again, at the end of September would be a fantastic time for any kind of legalities or contracts or anything like that to move forward after Mercury goes direct. That's going to be the best time to start anything new. But yeah, I feel like you have been very patient. But we've got the blank rune here, and it's kind of like at some point you've got to walk through that door. You've got to take that risk. If you're waiting on another person to do it, so I feel like some of you but you are not expressing feelings, and you should. But for some of you, maybe you are the Emperor, and you know, you have feelings for someone, but you're kind of waiting to express that. There's someone that you're interested in romantically, Capricorn, if you're single, and you know, maybe you've given this person a lot of chances, and you know, this guy can be he's very devoted to work sometimes. So I mean, he definitely has a lot of responsibility. So I feel like he's probably required to be at work a lot, or maybe he's on call, or you know. But I feel like you you know, maybe you've been very patient with his schedule, and you're just kind of wondering, you know, are we ever going to be able to make this work? I feel like we don't spend enough time together. Maybe that's part of the conflict for some of you, that it's not like a family or work situation necessarily, but maybe that's the argument that kind of breaks out. It's like, look, I feel like we need to spend more time together. You're always gone. And I feel like I've been very patient and understanding. Some of you, it's going to be time to take some action at the end of the month. We've got the Chariot card. So that means defeating all opposing forces, victory, moving ahead, leading the charge, as it were, and taming wild forces. Or in some cases, maybe this is just wild emotion. Maybe there are a lot of emotions going on. You know, certainly with some swords on the table, I usually look for cups when I'm looking for emotion, but swords can definitely invoke like strong emotions of anger and frustration. So the cups are usually the good things. Love and happiness and joy and the celebratory emotions. But swords are talking about, you know, dealing with the tougher stuff and overcoming those things, fears and worries regarding a situation. And the Chariot is all about getting those forces under control and saying, okay, this is the way forward. And whatever the situation is around, you know, you've been patient, and you may have to be patient for the first 3 weeks of September, but then it's time to make a move. So if you've been waiting to kind of let someone know that you're interested, Capricorn, it's time at the end of the month. September into October, you know, if you really want to see where this goes, you're gonna have to declare yourself. Now for some of you, this could be someone declaring themselves to you. Maybe it is your boss, or you know, someone that you see in a position of authority. He can be a lawyer as well, because we did have that legal stuff coming up. Some of you may be going to talk to a lawyer, and some of you, maybe this could just be indicate that you are partnering up with a lawyer to kind of take some action, to maybe you're consulting, kind of getting some advice. And it's still going to seem like a risk to you. Like you will have to be ready to fight, be prepared to go into battle. And at the end of the month, September, some of you may be charging into, charging through a new door with weird here. So, and you may not be sure what's on the other side, and that may make you nervous. But again, I say this a lot, especially with my earth signs, with great risk comes great rewards. And if it's a calculated risk, you've taken kind of a damage assessment, your odds of succeeding are much higher than someone who just charges in and is impulsive about things, you know. There's nothing wrong with taking calculated risks. That's how we change our circumstances, especially if we've become stuck in something that is no longer working, that's just draining our energy. And so, yeah, Capricorn, I feel like at the end of September, something comes along that's going to, you know, it's like if you don't do it, the universe is going to hand it to you. And it's going to be like, okay, here's the chance to make a big change that's going to, you know, surge you forward and get you out of this. Are you going to charge in? Are you going to charge into battle and fight for what you want? Or are you going to just let it pass you by and then sit on the sidelines and wait for the next bus or the next train? That could be, you know, it could be 10 minutes or it could be 10 years. We don't, you know, it's different for everybody. So that's what I see, Capricorn, for September. Not a light month by any stretch, but that usually means there are big things on the table, you know, pivotal changes. You've got, yeah, 2 major arcana here. The Emperor and the Chariot card, and then some heavy hidden runes as well. So this September could be the end of something negative and the start of something quite wonderful. It just depends on how willing you are to fight for it. So definitely fight for it, Capricorn. You deserve your just desserts. You've been patient long enough, is kind of what I'm feeling like here. And April may be significant. I feel like some of you, maybe this started in April, or maybe you've been waiting since April and it's just felt like time has been dragging by. And finally things are starting to move forward at the end of September. So do meet me over on Vimeo. I am going to shuffle the Fairies Oracle deck by Brian Froud, and we will pull a card, a fairy, and see which one you get and what they can offer regarding maneuvering September, Capricorn. So meet me over there, and I will see you back here next month.